Hello, this is Joshua Hunter, Josh Hunter, president of the city of Santa Monica, California. Um, as you know, a couple of days ago I had a skateboard taken from me. Now I just found this skateboard. It was the middle of the night. Now if you're not aware, here in Santa Monica there are these two apartment buildings with like blue lights on top. If you go straight down to the ocean, at the bottom of the stairwell, that's where I found these. There were two skateboards, but I only took one. So the one of them said, the one that I took, it was like a standard skateboard. It had it said Santa Monica Airlines on it, and the wheels were rusted. They were green rusted wheels, and like you couldn't move it, you couldn't use it for tricks or anything. And I took it. That was probably about 2 in the morning, and then I went to bed, and I woke up maybe about 7, and it was gone. Somebody had gone through all my things. I made a video about it, and I want to make sure that I'm processing this in some healthy way. I want to make sure I'm not angrier than I think I am. So they took the skateboard, but they didn't take anything else, which made me a little suspicious. Like when they only take one. Because as you know, I had a solar panel taken a while ago too. I had 2 solar panels, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and they just took one solar panel. A couple of weeks ago, I had a battery. I have 2 batteries, and they took just one battery. So this lets me know that there's a severe vulnerability somewhere, and I want to investigate fully. So I'm going to speculate here. I'm not saying that what's going on is that the people that I'm going to bring up, that they have anything to do with this, or I mean maybe they do, but I'm not saying who's the cause here, because some people are just puppets. Like they're literally somebody else's ideas and intents are guiding these people. They're not living their own lives. They're just kind of following instructions. So I'm trying to locate a vulnerability. Alright, so I look for clues. Sometimes I play around with words, see what comes up. The first thing that I notice is that both skateboards, so there were 2 skateboards. I took the one that says Santa Monica. There was another board right next to it, which was a Penny skateboard. Its wheels were also rusted, but it said Penny, Australia. So I noticed that it was a Santa Monica. There was a Santa Monica skateboard right next to one that said Australia. So I thought, this is interesting, because as you know, or maybe you don't know, Margot Robbie just bought a house in Venice Beach. Venice Beach is right next to Santa Monica, and the board said Penny, Australia, and she's Australian. So I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe there's some type of, maybe there's a connection here. And so, and so the name Robbie, right? It's kind of like rob, right? To steal, Robbie, Rob-ish, but similar to robbing. Like I had the skateboard for a little bit, but then it got taken, so it's not really robbing. It's not really like a theft, so to speak. So it's similar to robbing. So I don't know. That tells me I should just look in that direction. If you notice that, if anybody watching this has noticed that Margot Robbie had some unusual gains within 5 days of this video, maybe that'll say something. Anyway, so I'm not necessarily upset. My issue was why couldn't I defend myself? Why was I not able to prevent this? I mean, they could have taken anything, and so I'm trying to close the door to make sure that I do not, so that obviously if I weren't homeless, I would not be this vulnerable. So I want to take real and meaningful steps towards the complete cessation and ending of my homelessness. So I want to take real steps in the right direction towards the end of my homelessness, the end of homelessness. I just want to know. Sometimes I have to make these types of videos, so I know what I feel like. And when I watch it from a more, you know, standard state, I'll know if I'm being like bullshit or something. Secondly, so I've been switching up a little on. I've been watching different types of YouTube videos. I've been watching some YouTube gossip videos, and this is not something that I normally do, but upon my perusal of the new things, I've been seeing what all the young what all the young people are up to these days, and so I noticed that Emma Chamberlain has apparently they're saying she has a new boyfriend. His name's Tucker Pillsbury. And so as I was observing this, I was thinking, you know, this now, so I like to see like what connections come up and what, you know, wordplay, that type of thing. And so what I noticed is that if you put together all the letters in the names, the initials of the names of all the three guys that she's dated so far that is being displayed or whatever, that's ED, AH, and now TP. And what does that spell? Death P, apparently. Or Heat PD. PD Heat. I thought that was kind of interesting. And now, if you don't include the last guy and you just spell up to, you know, EDAH, that spells Hade, Hade, which is almost Hades, right? Which is considered like hell, right? And so, as I was like looking at this, I was trying to make, you know, observations. As you're looking at an alphabet, going in order, right? What letter comes before the letter P? Now, if you go back to, you know, including, you know, the most recent guy, the letter that comes before P is O. And what is O? O is like a circle, right? And a circle. I feel like I'm that guy on. I feel like, you know, there's an episode of South Park where they're making fun of a guy who's just making absurd connections to. Maybe that is. Fuck do I care? Anyway. So O could be considered a circle, and a circle could be considered God. And so what I was looking at here is like, this looks like a line from a Nine Inch Nails song. I think the song was it Heresy or Ruiner? I don't remember which one it was. But the line goes, God is dead and no one cares. If there is a hell, I'll see you there. And I think that's interesting, because I mean, like, what do they say in all these YouTube videos? Like, I'll see you in the next video. And Hades is what? Hell, right? So if there is a hell, and it spells H-A-D-E, so there's no S, so it's like if there is a hell. And God is dead, death P. And death, like, that space would be 0 or O, circle. God is dead, no one cares. If there is a hell, I'll see you there. So this is when you take the initials of the first three guys that Emma Chamberlain has dated. What does this all mean? And does it have anything to do with my homelessness? This is the question that must be answered. You know, I feel like I fit the I fit the description or the profile for like one of those like with those obsessive what do they call those guys who just, you got nothing in your life, so you gotta try to make your life. Look. First of all, if anyone thinks like I'm like some type of a stalker type, let me remind you, my last name is Hunter, so I'm always gonna be like hunting. Second of all, I got a lot of investigations going on simultaneously, okay? This is one thing, okay? There are things that I literally cannot, if I mention these things, you will lose concepts, and I don't want you losing concepts, not yet, You need your concepts to get through the day, and I need you guys to be able to get through your day so you can keep working and then, you know, pay for my good times. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring this up. My camera had stopped working, and that's why it took me a couple of days to get this. You know, I don't know what happened. So, also let me remind you, I always put tracers in everything that all the objects that I have, everything that I do, I always lace it with an electronic signature, so that anything that gets taken from me, I'm always going to be able to trace it back. I trace the energy. I don't necessarily trace the object, but I trace where it comes from, who has it. You may wonder, how do you do this, Josh? You don't want to know. You need your concepts. So all the people who have stolen things from me, whoever took my solar panel, whoever took my battery, whoever took this skateboard, whoever took all the other things, like all of these things that get taken, like I'm always able to find out where they came from. So if you ever happen to meet anyone who is in some way either directly or indirectly connected to having stolen these objects, they're all part of like an exclusive club, and you're gonna notice something about them, right? Like every person who steals from me, like they're gonna be very, very noticeable, and you're gonna know who, like they're gonna have like an easily identifiable thing that lets you know that they stole from me. That's what I do. And so anybody who steals from me in the future, you will also know, because they're all gonna have the same thing. They all will have the same thing that lets you know that they stole from me. And potentially, maybe they stole from you too, since I only work for the public, technically. I mean, no one missed it. I mean, anyway. So, if you ever happen to meet anyone who is responsible for having stolen something from me, pay close attention to them. What is it that all these people have in common? There. So I need to make sure, I need to know if I'm angry, and if I am angry, I want to know how angry I am. And because lately I've been saying to myself, I'm only getting angrier every day, and I don't want to be like an angry person. You got to remain in good health. You got to learn how to let go. But I need to fix this vulnerability. Okay, I don't want to be vulnerable like this, like someone coming up in the middle of the night doing all these things. And Margot Robbie just bought a house in Venice Beach, right next to where I am, Santa Monica. I mean, the city. I mean, Venice Beach isn't some huge fucking city, so. All right. I'm 34. Now, I gotta work on the thing. I'm 34 years old, and I've got the best grade on earth.